with Elon Musk generating so much excitement. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Now, after the US inflation data came out higher than estimates, Asian markets were down with Taiwan dollar and South Korean won taking the biggest hits. Meanwhile, the Chinese central bank also had to intervene to prevent the yen from falling any further amid the dollar surge, with the US continuing to struggle with its inflation. The impact of this is clearly visible in global markets, particularly in Asian markets. For more on this, here's a quick report.
Emerging markets in Asia witnessed a sell-off after investors withdrew from risk-prone assets. South Korean won and Taiwanese dollar bared the brunt of this following a highly anticipated US inflation report. The US Consumer Prices Index surged beyond expected numbers in March, leading to a market sentiment speculating a potential federal rate cut, which was anticipated in June, to be further pushed down to September. Officials in the US too have expressed their concerns over the Consumer Price Index data, which was higher than the expected 2% mark set by the Federal Reserve for a third straight month. As a consequence, the dollar index experienced a notable spike, with the dollar climbing approximately 1% overnight to 105.30 mark, marking its highest levels in nearly 5 months. Amidst this turmoil, South Korean won and Taiwanese dollar declined by 0.7% and 0.5% respectively, while Thai baht and Singapore dollar remained relatively stable. Stocks in Manila, Singapore, Bangkok and Taipei all experienced declines ranging from 0.3% to 0.7%. Meanwhile, the Chinese yuan traded at 7.236 after the country's central bank had to intervene to support the currency amidst the dollar surge. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
All right, so tracking all the business stories from across the globe. In fact, news that's coming in on the Indian economy, where it is good news as the Asian Development Bank has revised India's current fiscal year's GDP growth projections to 7% from the previously projected 6.7%. In fact, the robust growth is attributed by the Asian Development Bank to the strong public and private sector investment demand, as well as a gradual improvement in consumer demand. The ADB forecast suggests that the growth is expected to become moderate in this financial year as well as the next financial year with the forecast horizon. India to get its consumer price index data today. The data is expected to be released at around 5 p.m. with US inflation data for the month of March coming higher than estimates. All eyes are now set whether India be able to meet its inflation target or not. Retail inflation note is expected to be eased after a 5-month low of 4.9%. Currently operational at 14 domestic airports, Digi Yatra application is set to expand its footprint across 14 more airports across India. The innovative facility allows passenger facilitation initiative based on facial recognition technology that has streamlined the process of air travel significantly by enabling contactless and seamless movement of passengers. Akasa Airlines has launched its new Pets on Akasa service, catering to pet owners who wish to travel with their furry companions. The service will be extended on domestic flights within India and will accommodate cats and dogs aged 3 months or older. The owners will need to book the flights at least 48 hours prior to availing the service. After US inflation data came out higher than estimates, Asian markets were down with Taiwan dollar and South Korean won taking the biggest hits of 0.7% and 0.5% respectively. Meanwhile, the Chinese central bank also had to intervene to prevent the yen from falling any further amid dollar surge, with the Chinese yuan trading at 7.2 Amid US continued struggle with inflation, the impact of this is clearly visible in global markets, particularly in the Asian markets. And with this, we shift our focus now to the world of entertainment. The world was only over a hype of Barbenheimer this year, and the Academy has already announced the dates for the upcoming Oscars in 2025. Here are all the updates that we are tracking from across the globe on the world on what's making news. On the entertainment front, excitement has been building as the countdown to the 97th Academy Awards has already begun. The Oscars are set to dazzle audiences on 2nd of March next year as Dolby Theatre in Hollywood, with the countdown officially underway. Film enthusiasts from across the globe are anticipating the unveiling of this year's nominees. Here's a sneak peek at the key dates leading up to the big night.
A month after the 2024 ceremony, the date for the upcoming 2025 Oscars has been announced by the Academy. The 97th Academy Awards will be held on March 2nd, which is March 3rd in India, 2025, at the Dolby Theatre in Hollywood. As Hollywood gears up for the 97th Academy Awards, let's take a closer look at the key dates leading up to the star-studded event. In November this year, the Oscar season kicks off with the general entry and Best Picture submission deadline on November 14th. 3 days later, on November 17th, the prestigious Governor's Award ceremony takes place. Moving into December, preliminary voting begins on December 9th and wraps up on December 13th. Then, on December 17th, the Oscars shortlists will be announced, marking a crucial milestone in the award season, and the eligibility period for consideration ends on the eve of New Year, that is December 31st. In January, nomination voting commences on January 8th and concludes on January 12th. Finally, on January 17th, the Academy unveils the highly anticipated Oscars nominations, setting the stage for the next phase of awards season. February sees the Oscars excitement reach new heights, with Oscars nominees luncheon on February 10th. The final voting kicks off on February 11th, and on February 18th, the Scientific and Technical Awards will honor the innovative minds behind the scene. And finally, mark your calendars for March 2nd, 2025 as Hollywood's biggest night. The 97th Oscars takes center stage at the iconic Dolby Theatre. The show will commence at 7 p.m. Eastern, an hour earlier than usual, promising an event of glamour, excitement, and celebration of the finest achievements in cinema. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
And with that, we are heading to a very short break. On the other side, tracking the latest from across the globe, Japanese Prime Minister addresses US lawmakers, emphasizes strong partnership amid Asia-Pacific tensions. After being acquitted of wife's murder, Simpson passes away at the age of 76 after battling cancer.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
यही समय है, सही समय है, भारत का अनमोल समय है.
India's emergence as a formidable global player, particularly in contrast to its neighbor China, is becoming increasingly evident across various spheres. From Apple Inc. setting up its stores to now Musk planning a Tesla rollout, India is and will be a global bright spot. While India grows in the eyes of the world, the dragon descends on the global ratings. One of the key indicators of India's growing prominence is its economic resilience, as highlighted by Fitch Ratings. And for China, it wasn't good news, because Fitch cut China's ratings outlook on growth risks. Also, the value of companies listed on India's exchanges also surpassed $4 trillion by the end of 2023. Despite global economic uncertainties, India has demonstrated remarkable resilience and adaptability, fostering a conducive environment for both domestic and foreign investments. Speaking of foreign investments, innovator and billionaire Elon Musk is all set to roll out his Tesla out on Indian roads in the nearest future. Let's tell you how it all started. In 2019, Elon Musk expressed interest in establishing a base in India through interactions on Twitter, hinting at potential developments within the upcoming year or the following one.
I'm planning to visit India next year. I'm confident that Tesla will be in India and will do so as soon as humanly possible. I'd like to thank the Prime Minister for his support, and hopefully we'll be able to announce something in the not too distant future. It was an excellent, very good conversation.
In 2020, Musk reiterated his intentions for India, suggesting potential advancements in the near future. The very next year, in 2021, Tesla officially registered its Indian subsidiary in Bengaluru and appointed directors. In fact, plans for a manufacturing facility in Karnataka were announced by the state's chief minister. During this period, the Indian government signals its readiness to offer incentives to lower production costs. Throughout 2021, Tesla intensified its lobbying efforts to reduce import duties on electric vehicles, with discussions focusing on tax reductions to enhance the affordability of EVs in India. However, in 2022, Tesla encountered challenges with the Indian government regarding tax structures, leading the company to postpone its plans for EV production in the country. In May 2023, senior Tesla executives visited India to discuss the establishment of a gigafactory. Meanwhile, Elon Musk made his first visit to China during the same month. But a month later, Prime Minister Modi and Musk met during Modi's visit to the United States to explore potential investment opportunities in India. By August 2023, Tesla had leased office space in Pune, marking its initial physical presence in India. By December 2023, Tesla was advancing with plans for an energy storage battery factory in Shanghai, indicating ongoing expansion in Asia. In March 2024, the Indian government approved a new electrical vehicle scheme aimed at providing tax relief to boost manufacturing.
Webog engages in diplomatic dialogue with Iran amidst escalating Iran-Israel tensions. Zelensky meets Lithuanian president, where Zelensky prioritizes military aid in talks at 3C summit in Lithuania. IMF chief Georgieva claimed that Pakistan is in talks for continuation program, which highlights Pakistan's economic progress. Japanese Prime Minister Kishida addresses US lawmakers, emphasizes strong partnership amid Asia-Pacific tensions. American football icon O.J. Simpson, acquitted of wife's murder, dies at the age of 76 after battling cancer. Welcome back, viewers, to Republic World this morning. I'm Guinea, where we navigate the currents of global events and bring you the latest from around the world. As we delve into our international news segment, from diplomatic developments to geopolitical shifts, stay tuned as we uncover the stories shaping our global landscape. Now, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida addressed U.S. lawmakers at the capital, which marks a milestone in the bilateral relationship between U.S. and Japan. Kishida asserted that a strong partnership between the two countries at a time of tension in the Asia-Pacific region vis-a-vis the China challenge will help maintain peace and stability.
In an address to the US Congress, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida emphasized the crucial need for a strong partnership between the US and Japan, particularly amidst rising tensions in the Asia-Pacific region. His visit to Washington coincides with the conclusion of the Quad Summit, a strategic alliance aimed at countering China's increasing military power. Kishida highlighted the importance of the US's commitment to global security and reiterated Japan's steadfast support as a strong partner. His remarks come at a time when skepticism in Congress about US involvement abroad is prevalent, especially among Republicans who advocate for a more limited role in international affairs. The Japanese Prime Minister reminded lawmakers of the pivotal role Washington has played in shaping global affairs since World War II. Specifically, he lauded America's historic sacrifices and contributions to fostering a better world.
The U.S. shaped the international order in the post-war world through economic, diplomatic, military, and technological power. It championed freedom and democracy. It encouraged the stability and prosperity of nations, including Japan. And when necessary, it made noble sacrifices to fulfill its commitment to a better world. The United States policy was based on the premise that humanity does not want to live oppressed by an authoritarian state where you were tracked and surveilled and denied from expressing what is in your heart and on your mind. You believe that freedom is the oxygen of humanity. The world needs the United States to continue playing this pivotal role in the affairs of nations. And yet, as we meet here today, I detect an undercurrent of self-doubt among some Americans about what your role in the world should be. This self-doubt is arising at the time when our world is at history's turning point.
Kishida also issued a stark warning about the threats facing freedom and democracy worldwide, urging vigilance against rising authoritarianism. As tensions simmer and geopolitical dynamics evolve, Prime Minister Kishida's address serves as a timely reminder of the enduring importance of strong international alliances, especially at the time of emerging geopolitical tensions. Agency Report, Republic TV.
Now, leaders from Central and Eastern Europe gathered in Lithuania for the Three Seas Initiative Summit. The focus of the summit was regional security and aid to Ukraine and Moldova. The Three Seas Initiative Summit, with delegates from 25 countries and 10 heads of state in attendance, served as a platform for enhancing cooperation in transport, energy and cybersecurity, underscoring the collective commitment to building a strong future. Let's dive into the details.
Central and Eastern European leaders convened in Vilnius, Lithuania for the Three Seas Initiative Summit.
We will spend and focus our attention to the issues which are extremely important, especially in this geopolitical context. I have in mind the resilience of our infrastructure, critical infrastructure including, the improvement of our infrastructure and logistical systems, and in order to boost and to improve our military mobility. Also separate but not less important topic is the help and assistance to rebuild and to restructure Ukrainian economy, because I think we need not only to rebuild, but we have to build back better. And this is a huge opportunity, especially for this region, which has long economic and common history with Ukraine.
German Deputy Foreign Minister stressed on the need for unity and collaboration amidst Russia's aggression against Ukraine. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky highlighted the urgent need for air defense to ensure European security.
I want to thank to Lithuanian people for your big support during all this challenging period of this tragedy, of this war, of Russian escalation. And thank you that you are with us from the first days of full-scale war. So thank you so much. And second, thank you for the invitation to Gitanos. And I'm happy with my team to be here in Three Seas Initiative. Of course, I will share with my partners all the details, what's going on the battlefield in Ukraine, and of course the urgent needs for Ukraine. And I think it's not only for Ukraine, for European security. The urgent needs, number one, of course, is air defense. I will speak about it with all the details.
The Three Seas Initiative Summit was conducted in the presence of delegates from 25 countries and 10 heads of state. Leaders from Bulgaria, Croatia, Greece, Montenegro and other countries arrived, showcasing the diversity of participants at the summit. Agency report, Republic TV.
The SpaceX test launched the Falcon-launched rocket from its test facility from Starbase in Texas. Starship's 6 second-stage Raptor engines all started successfully and powered the vehicle to its expected orbit, becoming the first Starship to complete its full-duration ascent burn. Starship went on to experience its first-ever entry from space, providing valuable data on heating and vehicle control during hypersonic re-entry back into the Earth's atmosphere.
1, engines full power, and liftoff. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Number 1, what do you turn pressures? Stage separation confirmed. And back ignition. Landing load deploy. Stage 1 landing confirmed.
The European Parliament has approved a new migrant law after years of disagreement and discontent among the member nations regarding the migrant crisis in the Union. You see, EU member states have always been at odds as to who should be responsible to take care of the illegal immigrants when they end up at EU shores. While some nations have argued that it is the responsibility of the country where the immigrants have landed, others argue that it should be the collective responsibility of the EU to take care of the migrants. Now, will the new law put an end to this contentious debate in the 22-member EU bloc? Here's a report.
European lawmakers have approved a huge revamp of the bloc's migration laws.
Now, viewers, getting you all the latest news and updates from across the globe. Israel is set to inaugurate a new crossing point for delivering humanitarian assistance to the severely affected northern Gaza Strip, as stated by the military and the Defense Ministry on Wednesday. Now, this development coincides with heightened U.S. insistence on ramping up the supply of urgently required aid to Gaza. Germany's Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock reported engaging in dialogue with her Iranian counterpart amid efforts by the international community to de-escalate tensions between Iran and Israel. Speaking at a press briefing in Berlin alongside Chilean counterpart Alberto Van Claveren, Baerbock emphasized urging both Iran and Israel to act responsibly and show restraint. The European Central Bank has opted to maintain its key interest rate benchmark without changes, opting to await confirmation that swiftly diminishes inflation is effectively contained before considering rate cuts to bolster an economy experiencing challenges in achieving growth. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky arrived in Lithuania to take part in the three-state summit. During his third visit to Lithuania since the onset of the war in Ukraine, Zelensky held discussions with Lithuanian President Gitanas Nausėda before participating in the international forum. The Ukraine president underscored the significance of military aid to Ukraine, labeling it as priority number one. Poland's parliament is now debating the long-awaited liberalization of its strict abortion law. Despite being a traditionally Catholic nation with one of Europe's most restrictive laws, many women resort to terminating pregnancies at home using pills obtained from overseas. Prime Minister Donald Tusk's party has proposed changing the law, which currently prohibits terminations in almost all cases, to allow for abortions for up to 12th week of pregnancy. In Russia's Orenburg region, the water level in the river continued to rise, worsening flooding conditions and leading local authorities to once more urge residents to evacuate promptly. Orenburg Mayor Sergei Salmin reported that the Ural River's level had exceeded nearly 11 meters, surpassing the critical threshold, and emphasized the necessity for immediate evacuation measures. IMF chief Kristalina Georgieva stated that Pakistan is currently engaged in talks with the International Monetary Fund regarding a possible continuation program following its 9-month, $3 billion standby arrangement. She emphasized that there are significant matters to address during these discussions. Georgieva said that Pakistan is on track to successfully conclude its ongoing program with the IMF, noting an improvement in its economic performance, including the gradual accumulation of reserves. Israel will soon open a new crossing to deliver humanitarian aid into the war-hit northern Gaza Strip. The announcement comes at a time of heavy U.S. pressure to increase the flow of desperately needed aid into Gaza. Now, Israeli officials say that new crossing will be built instead of using the damaged Erez crossing, which Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pledged last week to open. Here are the details.
Israeli military and defense ministry officials announced plans to open a new crossing to deliver humanitarian aid into the hard-hit northern Gaza Strip. This decision comes amid heavy pressure from the US to increase aid flow into Gaza.
We are constructing the northern crossing, a new land crossing from Israel into northern Gaza, to enable more aid to flow directly to civilians in the areas that have been challenging for the trucks to access. These new measures enable us to bring more aid and trucks destined for Gaza from overseas, including the via land crossing with Jordan.
The new crossing will replace the damaged Erez crossing, which was destroyed by Hamas terrorists during an attack in October. Erez was primarily for pedestrians, not cargo, prompting the need for a new facility. An official from Kogat, the Israeli military body overseeing Palestinian civilian affairs, revealed that the new crossing will be located near Gaza's northern beachfront. However, the exact opening date remains unclear. Israel military spokesperson Daniel Hagari outlined additional steps to improve the humanitarian situation in Gaza. These include using the port in Ashdod to accept aid shipments and allowing Jordan to deliver more aid to Gaza.
Following the cabinet's decision, we have worked with international partners to bring in more aid from the sea via the port of Ashdod, after which it will be transported down to the crossings into Gaza.
Israel faces mounting pressure from the US to increase aid into the territory, where the recent offensive has resulted in a humanitarian catastrophe. Aid groups have criticized Israeli restrictions, citing delays in aid delivery. Just days after Benjamin Netanyahu announced his decision to launch a greater invasion in Rafah to eliminate Hamas, the question that arises, is this Netanyahu's tactic to take off heat over his remarks on Rafah? Agency report, Republic TV.
Viewers, it's time to slip into a very short break, but before that, a quick check on what's coming up next. Hit by boycott, Maldives reaches out to India to hold roadshows to woo tourism back. American football icon O.J. Simpson, acquitted of wife's murder, dies at the age of 76 after battling cancer.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
We are here for a big moment. But that moment, जब बस वो आ रहे हैं, हार्ट बीट स्टॉप हो जाने वाला मोमेंट था वो.
स्वागत है आप सबका. अच्छा होने दीजिए.
1-on-1 जब हम उनसे सामने मिले, हमें लगा ही नहीं कि हमारे एज में इतना डिफरेंस है.
मैं कलर करके बाल वाइट रखता हूँ ताकि जहाँ लोगों के लगे वो बेचो.
पीएम सर से बात करते हैं तो ऐसा ही लगता है कि हम हमारे एक फैमिली मेंबर से बात कर रहे हैं.
2019 में आई थिंक मैं बोलता हूँ कि गेमिंग काफ़ी स्पीड पकड़ी, रफ्तार पकड़ी.
हमारी जो मिथोलॉजी है जो उसके अराउंड काफ़ी गेम्स डेवलप हो रहे हैं अभी.
गवर्नमेंट इज रिकॉग्नाइजिंग हमारी क्रिएटिविटी.
सब कुछ मेरे आने के बाद क्या आपको ये फेस करना पड़ता है? गेमिंग एंड गैम्बलिंग, इन दोनों की लड़ाई आपके सामने आती होगी, तब आप कैसे हैंडल करते हैं?
सर आरएमजी और स्किल बेस्ड गेमिंग को बहुत हाई टाइम हो गया कि डिफरेंशिएट करें.
और क्या लगता है लड़कियों का इसमें आना कितना संभावना बढ़ती है?
जब मैंने शुरू किया था तो मेरे पास भी 100-200 ऐसे लड़कियों के मैसेज आते हैं कि हमने आपको देख के स्टार्ट किया. हमारे इंडिया में भी लड़कियां टेक फील्ड में और गेमिंग फील्ड में आगे आ रही हैं.
ये आप पेन दीजिए.
पहले तो निकला.
सर बहुत जल्दी कैचअप कर रहे थे. अगर मैं अपने पापा को भी सिखा रहा होता ना, वो फर्स्ट ट्राई में इतना ज्यादा नहीं कर पाते.
पीएम के साथ गेम खेलना आई थिंक ये वंस इन अ लाइफ वाला एक चीज हो गया जो मैं आई थिंक कभी नहीं भूल पाऊंगी.
वो पुलिस पीएम को गेमर टैग देना चाहिए. तो वो हमें क्या कहते हैं, नमो ओपी इन द चैट. Who is the biggest influencer in India? It's our Prime Minister.
मैंने उल्टा दोस्तों में फैला दिया था कि खेलो मेरे साथ.
मैं बीमार हूँ, तुम भी हो जाए.
लोग अब गेमिंग को एक अलग नजरिए से देखेंगे.
I think Indian gaming peaked.
मम्मी पापा तुम्हारा बेटा मोदी जी के साथ खेल के आया है.
#brand Modi. Brand Modi is the only thing this election is about. #brand.
Welcome back, viewers. Now, as it gears up for the home IPL fixture at the Atal Bihari Vajpayee Stadium on Friday against a struggling Delhi Capitals, LSG will be wary of complacency. A swollen hip has forced young pacer Mayank Yadav, who bowls thunderbolts in excess of 150 km per hour, to sit out, whereas the LSG management is yet to decide on the availability of the other pacer, Morshed Khan. Here's a report. Listen in.
Apart from the heroic return of Rishabh Pant after his life-threatening injury, nothing else has gone right for Delhi Capitals in their IPL campaign so far. Sitting plumb last at the bottom of the table, Delhi Capitals are moving precariously towards the elimination zone with just one win to show after 5 games this season. On the other hand, Lucknow Super Giants have been on a roll. After having started the tournament with a loss against Rajasthan, the team has quickly turned things around. Lucknow have won the last 3 games in a row, with 2 of them coming at their bastion in Lucknow's Atal Bihari Vajpayee Stadium. Sitting comfortably at the 3rd spot in the points table, the aim for Lucknow is clear: to extend their winning streak to 4 matches. Fortunately for Lucknow, the match is once again in their fortress in Lucknow, a ground that promises bowlers a fair shot of taking command of the game. This will also be something that the Delhi Capitals will be keenly eyeing, as they too possess a formidable bowling attack. With Lucknow having won all 3 games it has played against Delhi Capitals so far, with a record favouring them on their home turf, will Delhi Capitals be able to turn the tide? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Yes, time to step in a very short break. Before that, let's take a look at what's coming up next. Prime Minister set to hit the campaign trail in Jammu and Kashmir. Mega campaign in Udhampur today.
Dilapidated buildings, broken chairs, unhygienic classrooms, 2 subjects taught in 1 classroom, class student ratio of 18 against the RTE norms of 40 in each class. These are the allegations of schools run by the Kejriwal government. As purported videos from the government school at Khajuri Khas and primary school in Dayalpur have been accessed, questions on their pathetic condition come to the fore.
The academic session has just begun on 1st April while students do not have books in their hand. Tin school buildings are running, many government schools are running in the tin school buildings. Another problematic situation found from the ground report is that student is to teacher ratio is disproportionate. It has been found that few schools run in alternate manner, while there are few schools where instrumental teaching happens only for 2 hours in a day.
All India Parents Association had written to the Delhi government on the 5th of September 2022 in this letter. However, nearly 2 years later, the condition of the schools seems to remain the same. A petition was filed in the Delhi court highlighting the crippling education sector in the national capital.
About 2 years back, I was told that there are certain schools in Northeast district where classes of the students are either held for 2 hours a day or on alternate days. So I went to the area where these children are living, and then I talked to them, and even some of the students have given me in writing that their classes are held 2 hours a day or classes are held on alternate days. So this is clear violation of right to education. So on basis of that, I filed a PIL, and which is pending for the last 2 years.
2 days ago, the Delhi High Court highlighted the poor condition of Delhi government schools in Northeast District, calling it a very sad state of affairs. The court directed the Arvind Kejriwal-led Delhi government's education department to make significant improvements after noting discrepancies. Addressing the education secretary of Delhi directly, the bench stressed that the focus should not be on merely issuing advertisements but on substantially improving the education environment. Acknowledging the shortcomings highlighted in the report, the court emphasized the urgency of addressing issues such as broken infrastructure, classroom shortages, and delays in the supply of essential materials such as books and stationery.
आपकी बच्ची का नाम क्या है, कौन सी कक्षा में पढ़ती है, कौन सी स्कूल में पढ़ती है और क्या दिक्कत है, और आपको दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट से क्या उम्मीदें हैं?
मेरे बच्ची का नाम मीसा है.
Very good morning. morning. You're watching Live and Breaking. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. One of the big stories we will be tracking is a probe into Liquorgate, as the BRS MLC and the daughter of the former Chief Minister of Telangana will be produced before the court. Tracking that very closely. First, the headlines. Prime Minister in J&K today, mega roadshows and big rallies in Udhampur. In the dock for Liquorgate investigation, K. Kavita to be produced in court a day after CBI arrest. Rajnath reiterates India's strong stand on terror, says attempt to destabilize our nation will bear consequences. Hit by boycott call, Maldives attempts damage control now to hold roadshows in India to get tourism back in the country. US National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan to visit India next week. Big focus on Indo-Pacific region and China's ambition. American football icon O.J. Simpson, who was acquitted of her wife's murder, dies at the age of 76 after battling cancer. And we start this edition of Live and Breaking with the latest that we are tracking on Liquorgate probe. Note that BRS MLC K. Kavita, who's been lodged in Tihar jail following an arrest by the ED on 15th of March, was arrested by the CBI yesterday. In fact, today she will be produced before the court. We have Riyanka, who's reporting live from outside Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court. Riyanka, good morning. Once again, if you can take us through the angle that the CBI is investing in this case, while the ED is, of course, probing the money laundering charges, the South Lobby angle. Explain to us the criminal charge that is going to be the key focus of investigation by the CBI.
That's right. Well, K. Kavita once again facing the setback and heat of the central agencies. First it was the Enforcement Directorate and now it's the CBI. Well, the CBI arrested K. Kavita yesterday, as you know, after an interrogation that it took on the 6th of April. And today K. Kavita will be presented here at the Rouse Avenue Court at around 10 a.m. Well, on what regards? Well, we know that CBI is currently probing the angles of corruption when it comes to the liquor scam case and a link with the South Lobby. What we're getting to know here that the CBI questioned K. Kavita regarding some WhatsApp chats of the co-accused in the case, Buchi Babu, and a document of a land deal after which rupees 100 crore kickbacks were given to the Aam Aadmi Party leaders during the formulation and implementation of the liquor scam in exchange of favors. This is where the South Lobby is coming in connection to the Liquorgate. And several accused have been arrested in the entire matter. We know that K. Kavita is in the judicial custody already till the 23rd of April as the ED is investigating money laundering case against her. But it is indeed a setback when it comes to the CBI also taking or seeking custody for K. Kavita today. If the court gives the remand to the Central Bureau of Investigation, then K. Kavita will be taken to the CBI headquarters, put in a cell and be questioned on several angles as to how the 100 crore kickbacks were given to the Aam Aadmi Party top leadership. Remember, in the entire case, be it K. Kavita or Arvind Kejriwal, the ED has been neck deep into investigation and the CBI has also come into action in the entire case. So we have to wait and see what happens today at around 10 a.m. when K. Kavita will be produced here at the Rouse Avenue Court.
All right, Riyanka, thank you for the moment. So, Riyanka, they're outside Rouse Avenue Court getting us the updates. But note, one of the primary charge that's been leveled against K. Kavita is that she essentially facilitated the meet of the South Liquor Lobby, the liquor barons, with the Aam Aadmi Party. In fact, on that note, here's a quick roundup of news and brief from across the country. The national president of the BJP, JP Nadda, is set to visit Siddhi and Chinchwada districts today. In fact, during this time in Chinchwada, the BJP national president will also participate in public meetings and local programs. Chief Minister of the state, Mohan Yadav, will accompany JP Nadda at Chinchwada airstrip at noon. The district magistrate of Chamoli, Himanshu Khurana, visited Badrinath Dham to inspect Char Dham Yatra preparations and instruct departments to streamline travel arrangements, install sewer line repair, internal route improvement as well as water and electricity in the region. Heroin worth more than 40 crore was recovered in Nowshera area of Rajouri district. The J&K police, in a joint operation with the Indian Army, recovered 8 kgs of heroin from Nowshera line of control. The Indian Army conducted a training exercise in Sikkim for anti-tank guided missile firing. The exercise involved missile firing detachments from mechanized and infantry units that showcase the system's ability to neutralize armored threats and its effectiveness in high altitude environments. In a coordinated operation by the Chhattisgarh Police under 27 Battalion Indo-Tibetan Border Police in Manpur, Ambagarh Chowki in Chhattisgarh, a Maoist courier connected to few of the region's most senior Maoist commanders was apprehended. Tesla CEO Elon Musk has confirmed his plans to visit India. In fact, the billionaire entrepreneur is slated to meet Prime Minister Modi in the national capital during the week. In fact, on 22nd of April, Musk is expected to announce an investment and establishment of new factory in the country. Nepal ambassador to India Shankar Prasad Sharma has invited Indian businessmen to Nepal, calling India as the largest investor and top destination for promoting investment in the country. And moving on to a quick election update that's coming in from the state of West Bengal, where BJP has released a video clip that shows a TMC Neta, Hamidul Rahman, who can be heard threatening the voters and the opposition party workers as well. In the video that shows how the TMC Neta is calling out the opposition leaders and workers. He says that once the election is over, the central forces will move out and the only force which would remain is that of the TMC. The BJP has now urged the Election Commission to initiate action against the TMC MLAs. So that's a TMC Neta who can be heard openly threatening the voters. He says that once the elections are over and once the paramilitary forces are no longer deployed in the state, TMC is going to regain control and that it would take necessary action against all those who are engaging in several activities, violent activities. In fact, let's listen into that soundbite that's been released by the BJP.
Central government force 26 তারিখ পর্যন্ত থাকবে, তারপরে আমাদের এই ফোর্সের সঙ্গে থাকতে হবে। মূল্যবান ভোটগুলো নষ্ট করবেন না, বাদরামি করবেন না। 26 তারিখে সেন্ট্রাল বাহিনী চলে যাবে, তারপরে আমাদের এই সেন্ট্রাল বাহিনীরা থাকবে। তখন অভিযোগ করবেন না যে আমার কি হলো, আমার এটা হলো। সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্টের ফোর্স 26 তারিখ পর্যন্ত থাকবে, তারপরে আমাদের এই ফোর্সের সঙ্গে থাকতে হবে। মূল্যবান ভোটগুলো নষ্ট করবেন না, বাদরামি করবেন না। 26 তারিখে সেন্ট্রাল বাহিনী চলে যাবে, তারপরে আমাদের এই সেন্ট্রাল বাহিনীরা থাকবে। তখন অভিযোগ করবেন না যে আমার কি হলো, আমার এটা হলো।
And shifting focus to more election stories that we are tracking. In fact, it's with the Congress party that's seen a deluge of senior leaders abandoning its ranks, from Milind Deora, Ashok Chavan to Sanjay Nirupam now. We've seen it all, while the Congress likes to maintain that it's either the pressure from the agencies or corruption that leads to such jumps. Congress insiders have repeatedly raised concerns over the party's leadership, with Sanjay Nirupam divulging further details in last week's exclusive to Republic about 5 power centers in the Congress that have left the party leaderless. In another explosive interview this week, speaking to Republic, it was former Congress spokesperson Gaurav Vallabh who once again raised the same concerns in an all-tell-all interview with Republic's editor-in-chief about why he left the Congress and in which direction is the party headed.
Amid the mass deluge of political leaders from the Congress, with each passing day, questions are increasing as to what has changed in the grand old party that is causing these walkouts. Just last week, 2 big faces of the Congress, Sanjay Nirupam and former spokesperson Gaurav Vallabh, left the party, echoing dissent on the chaos in its central leadership. In an exclusive conversation with Republic, Gaurav Vallabh opened up on various power centers that have emerged within the Congress, which is a rising cause of discontent amongst the Congress's cadres.
डरते हैं कि वायनाड के लोग ये ना सोचे कि ये अमेठी शिफ्ट हो जाएंगे तो वो वोट ही ना करे. डर है. आप कहते हो डरो, दैट इज द इनसाइड. आप कहते हो डरो मत ना, तो सबसे पहले तो अपने दिल से हार का डर हटाओ.
Gaurav Vallabh also opened up about the lack of confidence in the Congress party ahead of the upcoming mega contest of the 2024 Lok Sabha elections.
I am not saying this data. This data is in public. That please check how many members are in CWC and how many of them are contesting the election. Why ex-chief ministers, ex-deputy chief ministers are not contesting the election?
Vallabh also went on to shed some light on why the Congress party is so hesitant to announce its candidates from the Gandhi's bastion of Amethi.
डरते हैं कि वायनाड के लोग ये ना सोचे कि ये अमेठी शिफ्ट हो जाएंगे तो वो वोट ही ना करें. डर है.
Talking on Congress's alliance partners, he said that the Congress has made some poor decisions by allying with parties which too were rejected by the people.
जब तक कांग्रेस पार्टी पीपल लाइक लालू यादव, अखिलेश यादव फैमिली, अगर जब तक इनसे अलायंस कर रहे हैं तब तक मैं लिख के दे सकता हूं कि आप सत्ता में आना तो बहुत दूर की बात है, सत्ता से 100 कदम दूर रहोगे. 100 कदम, 100 steps away, because people had rejected them. Rejected lot के साथ आप काम नहीं कर सकते. The politics of Lalu Yadav is rejected by people of Bihar. The politics of Mulayam Singh Yadav is rejected. People are right now thinking about aspirational India. People are thinking about that there is someone who is talking about making India a developed nation by 2047. People are talking about there is somebody courageous who is saying that I will make India 3rd largest economy of the world.
Sharing his concerns over the state of Congress, Vallabh made a dire prediction for the party's prospects in the upcoming Lok Sabha elections.